They said silence was the father's greatest flaw, but his son would later learn it was also the quietest form of love. On the night the story begins, a thin envelope, yellowed with time, slipped from an old toolbox as Daniel cleaned out the workshop his father left behind. Something about the trembling, handwritten address, his own name, pulled at him like a thread tugging loose a lifetime of unanswered questions. Years earlier, Daniel had stormed out of this very house after the argument that carved a canyon between them. His father's stubborn silence on one side, his own burning resentment on the other, and the news of his father's passing had struck him like a blow he had braced for, leaving guilt to bloom in the empty spaces where reconciliation should have lived. He held the letter for days before opening it, afraid of the truth but terrified of what he'd missed. When he finally unfolded it, the words spilled out like a confession from a man who never learned to speak his heart, how proud he was of Daniel. How he had kept every photo, every trophy, every childish drawing hidden in a wooden box like treasures too sacred to display, how his silence was never distance. But fear of saying the wrong thing, of failing the son he loved more fiercely than he knew how to say. The letter ended with a line that shattered Daniel. If one day you read this, I hope I have already found the courage to tell you these words myself. That night, Daniel broke, grief turning him molten, reshaping him in ways apology could no longer reach. But in the breaking came a strange clarity. Some bridges are rebuilt not through conversation, but through understanding. So he began to fix the workshop, restoring every tool, every wooden shelf, every forgotten corner, as though repairing the pieces of a man he had misread his whole life. And when he found a half-finished wooden toy his father had been crafting for Daniel's future child, the truth pierced him. The old man had been preparing for a future he hoped to witness. The story reaches its quiet climax the day Daniel becomes a father. When he sits beside his newborn son, holding him with a tenderness he once failed to recognize in his own father, he whispers the words his father never managed to say aloud, promising his child a love that would not hide behind silence. Yet in that moment, he also understands something deeper, something he will carry forever, that love, even when imperfect and unspoken, can still echo through generations, if we choose to listen. And as he gently folds the old letter and places it inside a new envelope addressed to his own son, he realizes the most powerful legacies are not the words we say, but the ones we finally learn to hear.